My kids beat me up. They beat me up. My 7 and my 5-year-old beat me.
Put the purse back, honey.
Now threaten her and see what happens.
Put the purse back now!
Are you ready to be nice? No! Okay, we're gonna sit out here until you're ready to be nice. We don't need to yell. Hey, no, hands are not for hitting.
Her calmness is setting a great example.
Are you ready to be nice?
No!
That's not a good choice. Theo, make a good choice, please. Theo, Abby, don't hit him. That's also not a good choice. Theo, get out. Theodore, get out of the bucket!
Get out of the fridge, come on. Yes. Come on.
Get the fuck out of the freezer!
It's hot on the bottom, don't drop it. No, it's hot on the bottom.
It's hot on the bottom!
Can you stop hitting me with that? Can you please stop hitting me with that? Thank you.
Stop!
Put the purse back, honey.
Now threaten her and see what happens.
Put the purse back now!
Please get out the cabinet.
Get your motherfucking ass out the cabinet!
No, no. No.
Hey folks, I know there have been increasing cases of having violent children, and majority of people are asking themselves this question: why is it that we are seeing a society where we are having violent cases coming from these children? And then you ask yourself this question: is it about the upbringing? Is it about the culture? Because for instance, in the United States, this has been a rampant issue, seeing parents coming out and complaining that they are raising children who are so combative, and they can come out and eat you back because you've just told them or given them an instruction. They are so rebellious. What do you think is happening to this society? Does this explain why the millennials don't want to have kids? Does this explain why this generation people don't want to have children? I want us to have this discussion because I believe that it's an important discussion, and maybe you are a person who has, you have faced this. Maybe you are a parent who is watching this. Just before diving right into the video, I would like to know your opinion in regards to this. Do you share the same sentiments with people who are complaining about this type of upbringing? For example, a case of the United States. Is it the culture of the United States of how the children consume social media and how they so dynamics when it comes to parenting and everything? Is it the social life that the kids are having that is making them to live this type of life? Join the conversation as you watch this video. As you know, I'll be back, and I prepared a presentation. Of course, I have it here. I'll be giving you 4 reasons from the research that I've done, the things that I think is making these kids to become so much violent. Let's watch the video. I'll be back and we'll talk about it.
Talk about something that we don't talk about enough. And I don't want to hear any judgment from moms. Because I'm a kind, gentle person. And I never even talked back to my mom growing up. And if I ever did, oh my gosh. My kids beat me up. They beat me up. My 7 and my 5-year-old beat me. Today I was kicked in the chest, slapped in the face, and punched in the jaw for trying to get pants on a kid to go to school.
You getting jumped by your kids? How you letting your little kids jump you? You letting 2 little kids jump you. They really beating her up for real. She not lying. She really got beat up. Imagine her in a real fight. She ain't throwing no ones. She ain't running no fades. She ain't doing nothing. She one of them people just gonna let them take advantage of her. She'll just get beat up. Okay, you beating on me now. I ain't no gentle parenting. We finna be rough and tough. Ain't none of that. Ain't no soft parenting. Ain't no gentle parenting. Finna be beaten for beating. But really yours finna be worse because you don't hit your parent. You don't hit your mama. Who you think you is?
The issue is there was no discipline we're allowed to give back. I've tried timeouts. I've tried taking things away. I've tried removing all the screens from the house.
It don't work.
I've tried taking away privileges. I've tried taking away extracurriculars. I've tried reasoning with them. I've tried putting in their rooms and taking everything out.
Have you tried a belt?
I have tried reward systems. I have tried just telling them how much it hurts Mommy's heart. But I'm still getting beaten every day, not a little bit.
Of course.
Bruises on my back, punches in the face, slapped across the face, kicked in the mouth, head-butted, bit. For something as simple as, hey guys, get your clothes on, we gotta get ready for school.
She raising some savages. She raising some animals. This ain't funny, it's just, come on, man. I really can't have no sympathy for you because you allowing this to happen. What my mama taught me, people can only do you how you allow them to do you.
My kids have more than I ever dreamed of as a child. They have more love than I ever received as a child. They're so allowed to sleep in bed with Mom. They have more toys than I could have ever dreamed of. They have loving parents that get along. We co-parent well. We do everything right. I try to make sure they get book fare, they get special lunches, they get pizza days, they get everything. I try, and I'm a single mom, and I have no money, and I'm doing everything. Everything is for my kids. I haven't bought something new for myself in fucking 5 years since I got divorced. Everything mine is either out of my dad's storage locker ice or thrift stores if I'm lucky. Because if I ever have extra money, it's food or whatever they need for school. And I'm getting punched in the face for asking them to get dressed. I never laid a hand on my mom because I knew what would have happened if I did.
Well, look.
And I know I'm not alone. I know.
Well, look, if you already knew this, you need to go ahead and leave that gentle parenting alone and go back to the core basics. Go back to what you believe in. Go back to how you was raised. You better raise them kids how you was raised.
I'm not the only mom dealing with this. It's been 4 years of me every morning dreading this moment of trying to get my kids ready for the bus because I know I'm gonna be told I'm dumb, I'm a loser, they're gonna beat me up, they're gonna hate me.
They verbally abusive too?
I'm so tired of dealing with it. When we were little, we got up, we got ready. What happened? What happened? I'm so tired, I just don't know what to do. And whatever suggestion you give me, I've tried it. I've tried it.
Oh no, there's one that you missed.
I know I don't do the other thing. Because one, that's awful, and two,
It's like she knew.
you're not allowed to do anything like that. And I don't condone it. But I don't know how to get my kids to stop punching me in the face and beating me. So if you have any suggestions, I'll be here crying on my bathroom floor wondering why my kids hate me. Because that's how I feel.
She needs.
That gentle parenting don't work.
At all. I just cannot. Gentle parent is out the door when it comes to her. Alana, come here, baby. Can I have that? Can I have it? Alana, can I have that? Can mommy have it? Give it her right now! See?
Yeah, that's why I need your laptop to be quiet.
But if your TV's loud, that means my laptop can be loud.
Shut up!
Who are you talking to?
You.
Oh, you Billy Badass now, huh?
Oh, you're crazy, huh?
All right.
Oh, well, we're gonna fight.
That'll work. You know? Oh, good old fashioned. You know? Always a good fashion. Oh yeah, you could always, just, you feel me? You always could, Now, last week when I made a video when I said that, you got to find balance, and there's always a good place for a good ass whipping when it comes to these kids, right? And I had people like, what's his name? Unfathomable Black Man, dude with the dreads that always talking to kids and shit like that. And he was teaming up with Drinkable Brian to even talk shit about me and how I'm parenting my kids, right? But here you have a mother crying because she over there getting her ass whipped by the boss baby and company. Now, my kids might get to be 18 and lack just a little bit of emotional intelligence, but I ain't never had my kids put their hands on me. That's for number one. And I say, now I'm sure they're going to say there's a deeper meaning and, blah, 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 and maybe this and maybe that. It's like, bro, sometimes kids are just kids. It ain't always a deeper meaning to some shit. And I would much rather my child be scared of me than even think about even biting, headbutting, or putting their hands on me. But y'all told me kids don't need a little healthy fear in their life from their parents. And it sounds like she's done all the gentle parenting, tried every avenue that y'all tell us to get on here and preach, but she only missing one thing. And again, before y'all put it on, I never said just sit there and unleash the wrath of the gods on your children like our parents did us. I said find a healthy balance, but the option needs to be there. But hey, what do I know? I ain't got no degrees or nothing like that, I'm just operating on common sense. Maybe the problem with her kids is they got a little bit too much emotional intelligence, Maybe they got a little bit too much decision making over there. Maybe sometimes your kids need to shut the fuck up, get their ass licked, and then go be quiet in the corner and think about the things that they just did. Because, man, boo-hoo crying, sobbing on the internet because you getting your ass whipped by Tommy Pickle is could never be me.
Here's why gentle parenting doesn't work. This is also the same reason that conscious parenting and peaceful parenting don't work either. High levels of stress can cloud judgment and patience, leading to you reacting unconsciously instead of reacting the way you know deep down you are capable of reacting, from a high level of emotional intelligence, from compassion, and from the unconditional love that you are. High levels of stress equals us not operating from any clarity, and therefore we are going to be more likely to react the exact same ways that your parents reacted towards you and that your grandparents reacted towards your parents. So it's not that gentle parenting, peaceful parenting, or conscious parenting don't work. It's just that we can't expect to genuinely be gentle with our children if our muscles and body is full of stress, full of tension, and if we do not have a game plan in place currently that is actually helping us to release that stress, release that tension. So see, when you flip out on your children, it's not because you're a monster. It never has been. You're releasing stress. It's just we don't have to release it unconsciously anymore. So if you have a desire to reduce spanking, screaming, mom guilt, overwhelm, negative self-talk, if you have a desire to break the cycles of these particular patterns, it's possible. And you are worthy of all that comes with breaking those cycles. But it's not going to happen if we don't first give ourselves permission to admit that while having this human experience, we are going to experience stress. And if we are not being proactive about that stress and releasing that stress and tension and resistance consciously, intentionally, and in ways that are healthy and constructive, then we will continue the cycle of releasing that stress, that tension, and that resistance in unconscious and destructive ways. When you are not feeling peace within yourself, you don't have any peace to give anyone else. Peace can't be the energy behind your words and actions if you're not feeling it truly within yourself. This is why I constantly say there's power in your peace. You want to experience harmony with your child? You want to experience less power struggles in the home, less spanking, less screaming, less feeling so estranged from the people you love? It's possible for you. It doesn't have to be a complex and difficult process either. You can actually start seeing results very, very quickly. But are you ready to start taking intentional action steps each day that are going to help you to prioritize your peace? Literally. Are you willing to be disciplined when it comes down to doing things that are simple and practical that lead you to releasing tension from your body throughout the day, bringing yourself back to the present moment instead of having your thoughts constantly thinking about things that happened in the past or fearful about things in the future? We've been programmed and conditioned to believe our children need to change. They don't. They're learning from us. You don't need to change either. You just got to be kind to yourself and prioritize your peace.
Guys, welcome back to the channel. I just hope that you're doing fine wherever you are. Now, I try to find out why are we seeing a number of these violent cases being prevalent, especially in the United States, and parents are coming out to complain about these issues. With me, I've tried to find that the following are the possible causes of this, and the first thing that I came to find out is lack of boundaries and discipline. Yes, some people argue that overly permissive parenting, which avoids setting firm boundaries or holding children accountable, can result in children lacking respect for authority or self-regulation. However, some people say that gentle parenting, if it's done effectively, still includes boundaries and consequences, and violence isn't necessarily the outcome. So there is a mixed feeling in regards to this. Even if you are trying to make the gentle, upbringing of children, we don't have to be violent with them for them to understand what you are trying to tell them. But we get to tell them that, if you do this, there will be a consequence of what you're doing. Now, some people argue that the reason for this is exposure to violence, and it's true because today the internet is there and everyone is exposed to the internet. People consume what they want to consume. Today you might walk to a kid and they'll tell you, I have my rights, and if you beat me, this makes parents to fear the children or the kids taking action, maybe or legal authority in regards to the issues that are happening in their life. So children are exposed to violent videos, movies, games, and social medias, which desensitize children to violence, right? So if children are exposed to movies, these are things that makes them understand that in a way for them to retaliate, or a way in which they communicate is through, violence, acts of violence. That's why you see parents crying that their kids have beaten them, right? And let me just give you a story. We are having different cultures. For me, as an African who lives in Africa, I know as a matter of fact, as a kid, you were never allowed to beat your parent because we have taboos, and there are curses which are related to this. But I understand that the world is changing, and even in Africa we have kids who still beat their parent for what they're doing. But we used to be children used to be in an obedient way. We used to live an obedient life. You can never raise your hand to your parent, leave alone raising your voice. You can never do that to your parent. But you see, like the United States today, parents are crying that their kids are beating them, right? Another thing that I like to talk about when you talk about exposure is household environment. You see, when a child is raised in a family or an environment where father and mother, they are always in a constant chaos, they're always fighting, this creates something in their mind that this is the way to respond, and they know that the response is violently. For example, a kid grows in an environment where the parents, or the father and the mother, they communicate by throwing things to each other. One day you'll talk to them and they'll throw something at you, because it is the exposure to the environment that you come from, they come from. Another thing that I came to find is mental health issues. Undiagnosed or untreated mental health conditions like depression, conduct disorders, oppositional defiant disorder, that's ODD, or trauma can manifest as aggression. Yeah, children are born with trauma, and this is a disorder that happens to kids, especially from the age between 4 to around 12 to 15, around somewhere there. They are violent, they don't hear anything, they are always moody, they're not crying. If they are not treated, these might also be a cause for these mental health issues, which makes them to be violent. And if you tell them something, they'll always want to eat you, right? Another point that I want to talk about is decline in social support system. Many families lack extended community or family support, leading to stress, on parents and insufficient supervision for children, which makes them to go astray. For example, we are living in a society where the mother and the father, they are both going to work. Who are children left with? Because remember, in the African traditional society, the kids were for everyone. But when you go to societies or the cultures like the United States, you find that it's not the same. You find that the kids, maybe they're just being left there, or the person that they're being left with is only there for money, and they're not instilling values to these kids. What happens? The kids develop habits or behaviors that in turn makes them to be violent. They don't understand cooperation, they don't listen, they are stubborn, right? And this also explains why we are having a lot of gang violence, because the kids are not staying with their parent, the kids are not staying with their fathers, you know. And these parental figures, when they lack in the family or in the if they lack direction of the person who tells them ABCD, it is easier for them to indulge in certain activities because they lack direction, they lack values. I like to talk about substance abuse. Yes, depending on the culture, I've seen kids smoke bang, I've seen kids use glue. These are addictive substances that they use. When they use this, their brain is compromised. They don't know to differentiate between person who is their elder and their age mates, and they could do anything to you because of substance abuse. And the culture of substance abuse is so predominant in the United States, where these drugs are available to everyone and they can access it. And these things make them to have these deviant behaviors because they tend to misuse the drugs, and in turns, it makes them behave in a certain ways which are deviant. I would like to talk about cultural shifts as my another point, and I will just continue by reading the document. Society's growing emphasis on individualism over collectivism might lead to children feeling entitled to assert dominance even over their parents. Remember, I told you some minutes ago, in the African traditional setting, a child was for everyone. But in the United States, there is something called individualism. And individualism has been brought about by what is called capitalism, where everyone for himself. If I have a kid, it's my only kid. If I have any resources, it's mine and only mine. There is nothing like communism, because even children were being shared. If a child could have done any mistake in a society, he was punished by anyone who is elder, regardless whether they're their parents or not. This is not the same in the United States because of something called cultural shifts. Or even if it's in Africa, there is cultural shifts because people are trying to live the modern life instead of traditional type of life. So you understand, when these changes happen, there is erosion to the respect for traditional authorities like teachers, police, parents, who might act as their role models. Last but not least, I'd like to talk about inequities in education. School systems that fail to provide emotional education or support for troubled youths contribute to behavioral issues spilling into family dynamics. When the school fails to do their work, it culminates down to the family. This problem, they'll carry them to the family. That's why we need schools for social order. We need churches for social order. We need religion for social order. These all things are meant to make you act in a certain way, to bring order in the society, because without all this, there could be chaos, right? The same things that I would like to talk about also happens in the United States. Majorly the same points, but however, there could be differences a little bit. Cultural norms, you need to understand that the cultural norms, for example, between Africa and the African countries and the United States is different, right? Weakened family structures, and you know that families in the United States is not much as strong as the one in the in African countries, because of the individualistic type of life. Capitalism has made a man and a woman do the same job. It's not like in the past where a woman used to stay in the house, a man used to go and look for money. It's not the same. Today, a man and a woman wake up in the morning, go and look for look for money, because there is this culture called 50-50. A man gotta make money, a woman gotta make money. What does this lead to? This lead to what is called weakened family structures, because there is no one will remain or will stay with these kids. Also, another thing which makes it so makes this occurrence so much in the US is access to weapon. Yeah, in the United States, children access weapon easily, which gives them a certain type of ego. You know, they are secure, they could do anything, and if you play, they could shoot you. So many cases have been reported. A child goes to school, shoots a couple of kids because they have access to, you know, these guns. Over emphasis on freedom. This is something which the United States is good at. The United States have taught its citizen freedom. Freedom to which gender you want to choose. Today I could wake up in the morning and decide to say that I'm a woman. The United States Constitution have given me, you know, the power to decide my right. I could refer to myself as a she if I want, you know. The freedom, this is something that I'm talking about, right, has made it kids to, you know, be entitled over their parents because they know they have freedom, amongst other things that are happening. I'd like to know your opinion as to why we are having these occurrences in the society. Feel free to tell me what you think about this. These are presenter Jinduke Stories, and just a reminder, if you wish to buy me a coffee, you could check out my Cash App account on my bio. I'll really appreciate. You could join our membership, support us, support the channel. You know, we most definitely appreciate. Until then, I'm gonna be seeing you in my next video. Peace, love, and harmony.